episode 41 of the Ruben Obed Show. And the title is People with High Cholesterol Live Longer. People with high cholesterol live longer. All right. This is taken from a study that is currently all over social media. One of the articles says flawed cholesterol study makes headlines. A controversial study has argued that if you have a high LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, um, and you're aged over 60, you will live longer. There is no increased risk of cardiovascular disease, and the statins will have little effect. All right. Um, Another study was saying the same thing. Older people with higher cholesterol live longer. Population studies in Japan show that people of all ages with higher cholesterol live longer. Now, we go around, you know, worrying about the cholesterol and let's not eat at McDonald's and let's not do this and let's not do that and blah 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 and the bad cholesterol and the good cholesterol and then we get studies like these coming out. You know, I am not advocating for an unhealthy lifestyle. I am not, and I don't want to give that opinion. But this happens so much in science, you know, and people they follow science as if it was something so perfect that it can't make mistakes. Well, I'm pointing out a huge one right now. I remember during the campaign trail, Trump had mentioned the fact that vaccines were actually um, linked to high levels of autism. And when he said, I had never really heard that before I heard Donald Trump during the campaign trail talk about that issue. Now, I did notice one thing. I had never in my life heard of autism till I was like 18 years old, 19. I remember, and I can remember clearly the first two people who I ever even knew about. It was this lady from church, and she had two little children, and they were twins, and they both had autism. I didn't know what autism was. I had, I had heard of kids that are have Down syndrome and stuff like that, but not autism. Then shortly after that, I saw the movie Rain Man, and it was like an issue starting off, but I had never heard of it. I don't know anybody in my family who has autism. Nobody, you know? And it's amazing how the farther you go back, you don't see these things. It is told, I read another review that the incidence of autism amongst the Amish community is practically zero. You know what I'm saying? Zero within the Amish community. So, a lot of people they want to, say, oh well, those are conspiracy theories and blah 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 and whatnot. But right now, here in Puerto Rico, this last flu season, a couple of people died, and it was linked directly to the flu shot. You know, flu related deaths. I've used myself as an example. I have never in my life gotten a flu shot. Never. And I've gotten the flu maybe once, twice, at most. You know, I reacted fine to it. I'm not a doctor, I'm not here trying to tell people not to follow their doctor's guidelines, but I am here to tell people to not be so blind, to step out of the matrix for a couple of seconds and realize that doctors and medicine don't have all the answers, you know. I'll give you a little testimony. A couple of months back, like during the hurricane, I had an issue. I had a wart right here on my hand. It was about three or four of them that was spreading, and another one had come out like right here on the tip of my nose. And I'm like, damn, what the hell is this? So during the hurricane, They had free doctors. There was a dermatologist at the plaza, and I went in and I said, okay, well, it's free. Let's go over there. And I talked to the doctor, and she saw the wart on my hand, and she saw the one that grew out right here on the tip of my nose, and she said that I needed a procedure. It would cost about $90 for the visit, and another $90 to get to get that taken care of. The point is this: I wasn't about to pay that lady 200 and something dollars. And then I asked her, well, how many sessions would I need? And she said, oh, probably 2, 3 at most. So I'm talking, damn, that's 90 times 90 times 9. Hell no, me and my broke ass ain't gonna pay you no 300 something dollars. Screw that. So I did what any sane person would do. I go on Google and I find a home remedy. And I found apple cider vinegar. I put apple cider vinegar on this damn thing. Look, my hand is perfect. I got no wart nowhere. Apple cider vinegar cost me $1. You know, that's the reality. I'm not making this stuff up. That is the reality. You know, so had I been the type of person that is very systematic and I follow, what doctors say blindly, you know, I wouldn't have been able to find a simple solution, which was apple cider vinegar. You know, so right now, you see you see these studies about people, that actually now they live longer, and that basically the cholesterol lowering medications are crap. Doesn't prove anything. And I think I read in part of the study that in fact the mortality rate in the people with the lower cholesterol was higher. It's ironic. I remember when I was in around high school, I graduated like around 95. So this must have been like 19, I don't know, like 19, like 93, I think. But like in 93, or probably a little before, I heard all this crap about eggs. Oh, don't eat eggs. Eggs lower, they put up your cholesterol, and it's bad for you, blah, blah, blah. And I remember clearly that there was this whole propaganda against eggs, this anti-egg rhetoric, Couple of years passed, and I remember when I was in high school, all of a sudden I'm watching TV, and I see a commercial that said, the incredible edible egg, and how they were ramping and raving, and how studies were not correct, and now the egg is, the incredible edible egg. And I said to myself, okay, so now what do I believe? Egg is bad, and now the egg is good. So all of a sudden now low cholesterol was good. Now all of a sudden high cholesterol is good. As they say in Spanish, o te peina o te hace rolo. There's a saying in Spanish that says either brush your hair or put rollers on. You know what I mean? And it just it goes to show you. Yesterday in particular, and I use this as an example, I had severe allergies. I'm talking, I couldn't sleep last night, and I still got a little bit of the sniffles. But every single time that I get these sniffles, all right, it just so happens that there is a coincidence that there are chemtrails over my house. It doesn't fail. Planes go by, chemtrails. I get sick. It always happens. Why? Now, there's people that just say, oh, those are not chemtrails, those are condensation trails, contrails, and he says, you're crazy, and you're a conspiracy theorist. But yet, I live very close to the airport, so if I go on the roof all the time, because I fly drones, I see hundreds of airplanes going by, because they land in San Juan, and I'm about 25 minutes from San Juan, so when the planes come by here, you see them very, very, like either low or, basically visible. I have never seen commercial airplanes with chemtrails. Never, not once. All right. And I'm up there on the roof flying my drone all the time, but then they see these jets go by and they leave the chemtrails. And then the very next day, I'm sick. My wife is sick. I hear the neighbor, because here in Puerto Rico, you can even hear the neighbors' conversation talking. You hear them sneezing and coughing. So this can't be some psychosomatic illness, or or something, because then I guess I'm creating mass hysteria because the neighborhood is sick too. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm trying to say. I want people to like open their mind to the fact that science doesn't know it all, and the government hides stuff. And I don't want to come across like some crazy conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat. But when you see these things, you need to address them, because people are blindly believing that these medications are working when in fact it's this big pharma. You know, I've never gotten a flu shot in my life. It just makes no sense, you know, and it's scary. Recently, here in Puerto Rico, they wanted to pass a law, and I'm assuming that it's happening in the states as well, where they wanted to um force children, if you have children in school, they were gonna be forced to be injected with the vaccine for, I believe it was, to prevent against cervical cancer. Now, I forgot, I mean, the name of the vaccine. Well, anyway, the studies showed that this vaccine in particular was rendering kids, totally healthy kids. I think it was the human papilloma virus. Yep. Now everybody knows, man, that's transmitted through sex and whatnot, and the human papilloma virus, and it can turn into cervical cancer. But so now they wanted to inject every little girl and boy from the ages of like 10 and on, as it mandatory to give your kids the papilloma virus vaccine. Um, and it's proven fact, and it's like all over, YouTube, and you can look for it, that people and totally healthy kids, they're given this vaccine, and they end up retarded. They end up in a bed, like like retarded, like as if they had like all like this. And I'm not doing this to make fun. I'm just being straight up. They end up like that. You got a healthy ass kid, and all of a sudden you give him this papilloma vaccine, and the next day he's in the bed stricken like this with his hands curled up. That's some serious shit. And that's the type of crap that the government is trying to put through our eyes and through our ears, you know? And when I say the government, all right, let me just clarify this. I'm not even talking about Trump. I'm not talking about our administration. On the contrary, the Trump administration is on point. I'm talking, when I say the government, I'm talking about the powers that be. I'm talking about the deep state. I'm talking about the globalists. I'm talking about the Illuminati. I'm talking about all the people, the bankers, the Rothschilds, the Masonic orders, all them people that contribute to this big pharma and to all these evil things. That's what I'm talking about, you know. But it's crazy, man. The stuff that is happening, you know. So right now, so I see these articles, and people with high cholesterol living longer. Okay, internet is a little bit intermittent, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But I've heard many people say, "Oh, my grandfather, he used to have bacon and sausage every morning, bacon and sausage and coffee, and he lived till he was 103." I've heard other people say, "Oh man, my grandma, she smoked all her life and she died of 100." You know, I'm not telling you to go smoke, and I'm not telling you to freaking eat sausage out of the wazoo. I mean, but what I am trying to say is, people, open up your mind towards the fact that what you hear on TV, what you see in the news, might not even be the truth. You know, we live in the matrix. We can't do nothing about it, but we need to step out of the matrix and observe and see that things are not the way many of us want to believe it, you know, because people fall into this system of society and they don't doubt. Like right now, I'll give you a perfect example. People make the biggest mistake on earth, and we do it every single day. I'm guilty of that. You're guilty of that. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Anytime you have a question, you Google it. You automatically assume that what is on Google is true. So you're associating the truth with what is written in Google. What if Google's lying to you? What if you ask a question and what is on Google is actually purposely incorrect? You know? I'm not saying for you to become this paranoid schizophrenic and not Google information, but I am telling you to keep your mind open to the possibility that what you're reading is wrong. What you're hearing is wrong. Just open your mind. Open your mind in terms of everything, in terms of laws, in terms of government, in terms of health, in terms of religion. Whatever it is that you're hearing, just keep part of your brain open to the fact that what you're hearing is probably bullshit. And I think that way you will have an edge, and you'll just keep your mind open. You'll have an edge, and you'll start seeing things from a different perspective and not be blindly caught up into the society and into the matrix that has been developed for you and for me. So all I gotta say is this, people. These are words, that I wish to share with you guys, and I invoke for you guys to go out and do your own research. I simply just hint at things and tell you guys, what I see. I live a slower paced life than many of you, you know, um, and by living a slower paced life, I probably have the time to see certain things and research certain things while you guys are like out, with your children and at work and driving your kids to the soccer game and that all rush. Sometimes you miss little things, so I mean, I feel that because of the fact that my life is very slow paced, I can actually point out little details that you may just have missed. So I hope that them little things that I say are beneficial, and I exhort you guys to look these things up, and just keep your minds open, man. Don't believe anything. And I want to close with a scripture that says, "Damn, be the man that trusts in man." You cannot trust in man. You gotta trust in God, and God gives you the wisdom to research things and make and make a determination based on your own judgment, not what you see on CNN or on Fox or on NBC or on the newspaper. Your mind, and there's a war for your mind going on. And as they say up in InfoWars, we are the resistance. So we got to keep our minds open and step back, look at the matrix, observe it, and you'll notice the flaws in the matrix. So peace, guys. Take care. God bless. And this was episode 41 of the Ruben Obed Show. People with high cholesterol live longer. Conspiracy theory and chemtrails. Peace.